All right.
Hey, 1 2 1 2.
All right, we got you loud and clear.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Dude, where do you keep the money?
What are you talking about?
I'm going through your drawers here looking for some money. We need to get paid for this show here, man. Joe lost his job.
Well, you don't work for me. You work for you. What are you talking about?
I thought this was some kind of network.
What am I getting paid? Well,
what is this, a jockstrap? What the fuck? What are you doing with a jockstrap? Calvin Klein.
Fancy.
Drew, you wear boxers and tighty whities, dude. Who still wears tighty whities?
I don't wear tighty whities. Whose drawers are you going through?
I'm going through yours.
I think you're getting kind of creepy.
I'm looking for cash. Gotta get these guys. What is all these clothes doing on the floor, man?
There's some There's a change box in the kitchen.
I'm just looking under the pillows here.
You're supposed to be bringing people to this big network.
Dude, wait, what is this pot drawer? What's going on? You put your cigarettes out in your drawers?
Did you find the pot drawer? Bring some down, please.
Seriously.
Dangerous, buddy.
Oh, God.
There ain't no God, man.
You're going to have to enter through the basement door from now on.
Oh, my God, there's a toilet here. What in the world?
What?
All right, now this is gross. Okay, Bob, just start the show.
Let's start this thing.
Jesus.
Charlie, it's very simple.
No bullshit news. Like most of your stories, it's false. No bullshit news.
Stop with the media bullying. Charlie?
No bullshit news.
Hot dog. There's no shame in my game.
Hey, look at me once. You look at me twice. Look at me again, and there's gonna be a fight. We're gonna rock this town. We're gonna rip this place apart. We're gonna rock this town. Rock it inside out.
All right, and here we are.
Man, I need some hand wipes
5.
after that, dude. You need a housekeeper.
What is wrong with you? Why are you snooping in my house all the time?
Look, man.
I want him escorted again, just like the old days. Always.
Well, how would you?
Basement entry only.
How would you know that the rats are feasting on your dog feces out there if it wasn't for me, Drew?
Did you see a rat out there? For real?
Yeah.
We did have a rat in the house. Layla found it.
You had a rat
She barked at the wall.
Did she find it or did she eat it?
She barked at the wall for about 2 weeks, and then Rob came over, set a trap, and that was the end of the rat.
in the wall.
It was inside the wall.
How do you set a trap in the wall?
You go through a vent. It was pretty brilliant, I got to say.
It's like Alcatraz in the house of Skag. But it is really infested right here in southeastern Michigan. It's really
it is.
bad problem.
Yeah. Actually, there was a house in Birmingham I'm aware of that had a worse problem. They were digging through the siding into the garage. Somebody with a drinking problem had a lot of, about 10 giant bags full of liquor bottles that they didn't want to take to the curb and a bunch of other garbage. And, of course, rats like that. That was in Birmingham.
Rats were drinking on it.
Guess so.
Rats enjoy a cocktail.
I like something in there.
Every now and again.
Well, my brother used to live next to the Dodge Ram plant in Warren there. when they went down to one shift, it became so eerily quiet that there wasn't a lot of action for the rats. So they just came out and infested his neighborhood. So that was the gift from the big three right there. Plus the overage on the minivan, which really set him back.
Yeah. Royal Oak's got problems, too. They're everywhere.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Hey,
We're
Karen.
falling apart.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Charlie.
Karen Dumas. Karen Dumas, if you don't know who she is come on. Basically, you were Mayor Dave Bing's chief of staff, even though that wasn't your title, wasn't it?
I was Chief of Communications and External Affairs, Charlie.
But,
on paper.
Basically, you were trying to run that shithole. I mean,
No, I was trying to make a difference. I was trying to do my job and, unfortunately, make up for a little bit of those who weren't doing their jobs. Just trying to reposition the city. To me, it was an opportunity to make wrong a right and try to get Detroit on the right track. So
you got run out of there because you were...
Pretty much by someone who didn't want to work. People have a misperception that they are somehow on vacation or entitled to some pretty generous salaries that they probably otherwise would not make. And so I expect people to work. I come from an entrepreneurial background. I don't have a 9-to-5 mentality that, you punch a clock, you go to lunch at 12 and you get a check every 2 weeks. My whole thing is if you don't work, you don't get paid. So I have a very aggressive level of expectation, not only for myself, but for people that I work with.
So basically, politics was no place for you.
I was going to say, that didn't sound like government work. I mean, the punching in and punching out sound like government work.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I saw, I've been in Detroit. I've lived in Detroit all my life. A native Detroiter, not a T-shirt Detroiter. I'm a real Detroiter, and always saw the potential in the city, and thought this was an opportunity. People were coming out of the Kilpatrick administration that I was in up until 2005. I left before it hit.
What'd you do there? What'd you do in Kilpatrick?
Community affairs, but then I was reassigned to cultural affairs, and we changed that to culture, art, and tourism. But the department was not funded; it was defunded, and then I left. That was in 2005.
Did you see what was coming?
No, actually, I did not. And I'll tell you, and people don't want to talk about this, but I saw a whole different level of aggression just from the team in terms of trying to get things done. So as people always say, did you see anything between the two? No, I didn't. I saw a possessiveness, but from, Christine about, or protectiveness, I should say, of the mayor. But I just, figured that was just most people who are second in command tend to have that perception about the person that they work for.
Did you know they were fucking?
No, I did not.
Well,
nor did I care. I mean,
that's true.
I never gave it a thought. That wasn't.
You had to endure that because, like, when you were working for Bing, you got. I mean, a woman in a position of power. I mean, like, you were sleeping with him, you didn't earn it, or you were actually really running the city. It was so. I'm looking up at the TV, and it's this whole Kavanaugh thing. You must. We don't really talk about stories we're not involved with because everybody's talking about Kavanaugh. But as a woman, handsome woman in a position of power. What do you make of that, considering everything you went through? What's your view on it?
Well, I mean, and
it's Friday, by the way. So for everybody,
Happy Friday, everyone.
It's
so
Friday.
Monday, when you're listening to this, we're not going to be talking about the vote.
It'll be something different. But the reality is, Charlie, is that these things never change. I mean, it was Harvey Weinstein, it was Bill Cosby, now it's Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, it's the culture of a powerful man and a woman in any capacity. For me. And for other women in power or that have some degree of influence, we're looked at as being bad. Someone made a comment that if I had been a man, I would have gotten a promotion. But because I want to do things differently and I'm not, I don't know, people tend to think I'm a little intimidating, not threatening, but intimidating.
Bitchy.
Okay, I'll take that too.
Well, that's what they say. That's not me.
And that's okay.
I respect you.
And I appreciate that, Charlie, and I know you do. And even when we worked together, you did, and I respected you.
We did not work together.
Well,
we did not. It was like sheepdog and the coyote. Okay. I respected you.
But what I'm saying is that you were in the media at a time that I was there over communications. You did your job, and I respected you for doing your job, and you respected the parameters and the titles of that office. You did. That didn't mean that you were.
I didn't do the bedroom shit. I didn't do. No. I didn't deal in rumors because I hate it.
No, you did not. And
everything is wrong.
And I do have to say this. There was this one reporter from the Detroit News that did a story.
Who is it? Just tell me.
It was.
Just whisper.
I can't remember his name. God, what is his name? He's just, I'll think of it. I really can't remember his name. Black guy, kind of chunky. Anyway, but he did a story that quoted 9 unnamed sources. How do you write a story with 9 unnamed sources?
What was in the story?
That was one of the salacious stories.
About you?
Yes.
God, what did it say?
And then he went
No, what did it say?
I don't remember. I mean, but it was just stuff like, they said that I created a hostile work environment and that, I had the mayor wrapped around my finger and whatever I wanted, I got. And that I displayed an irrational or emotional behavior, I get kind of like Brett Kavanaugh. I want what I want. So, but how do you write a story without any validated sources? I could have made that up. Nobody questioned that.
It's pretty commonplace now.
I guess so. Is that the BS news? And this is the no BS news.
Hopefully.
That's right. Well, yeah. And again, I mean.
But unnamed sources are. It's to me the standard for gets printed or gets broadcast is so much lower than it used to be.
Well, look at it. Here's the vestigial bullshit of it all. After Jason Blair, the famous New York Times fabulous, who just made shit up, made people up, made stories up, confidential or unnamed sources, the whole industry went to explaining in a story if it's an unnamed person why. Because they're, not, they would lose their job or they're not authorized to speak, et cetera. So that's it's all the way back again. You get a sort of a phrase, they're not authorized to speak on the matter publicly. And it's like, that's not good enough.
Leonard Fleming, that's who it was.
Leonard Fleming.
Yeah. I mean, to me, he made the story up. And then he would go around and tell people, yeah, I'm the reason why Karen Dumas had to resign. Dude, that's nothing to walk around to brag about. Then I saw him about 2 weeks ago at the gas station, and he rolls down the window and says, hey, Karen Dumas, how are you? And I rolled up my window. I'm like, dude.
You should have flipped him off.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not friends. This isn't how this works, that you can, attempt to destroy my career and my life and then say, oh, okay, let's go hang out. Doesn't work that way. Not with me.
Oh, it still pisses you off, doesn't it? Because
it does.
I mean,
it should.
I think my wife saw it because Facebook blows, but she saw it, and you were posting the press conference where you're explaining yourself without having to explain yourself. I don't want to be distracted. It's got to go on.
Right.
So it hurts, doesn't it? You're still
I am because, and I run into the person who filed the lawsuit and they try to speak to me. I'm like, people, like there are 3 people on my list that just don't F with me, period. Leonard Fleming, the girl who filed the lawsuit, and the girl who rear-ended me about back in June. Everybody else I can kind of overlook. But those 3 people, just leave me alone. Stay away from me.
Done with them.
What happened with the girl that rear-ended you?
I'm sorry?
You said you got rear-ended?
Yeah, I got rear-ended.
In high school?
No, yeah, this was in June. No, Charlie,
in a car.
that. In a car, Charlie.
Oh.
No, in a car. No.
I
You were
wasn't
on
going
Facebook.
there.
Thank you.
How hard she hit you?
Very hard. I was in the hospital for 5 days, and it took them 30 days to repair it. So
Did she have insurance?
I don't know. I did. So, everybody's like, oh, you ought to sue. I don't have time for that. I just don't,
How are you doing now? Are you okay?
No, I'm not. I mean,
no.
when I used to hear people say, oh, I got back and neck, I'm like, that's BS. No, it's real.
Want me to crack your back?
No, I'm good, Charlie. Thank you.
Well, so anyway, because Kavanaugh's on. I mean, so.
Kavanaugh's been on 24/7.
Yeah, but you don't. You were talking outside about his temperament, but you don't see why he might be angry if this shit's not true.
I understand that, but you're running for the highest court in the land. You have to be able to show some degree of diplomacy, some degree of tact, and not take it personally. Yeah, I mean, if you're in a position of power, people are going to always come after you. You know that, Charlie, regardless. And so, 13,000 judges around the country said, hey, we don't agree with his temperament. Will that matter? Probably not. But it should. For him to sit there, I was more distracted. I was listening to the hearing on CNN radio, and I was more distracted by his sniffling. That was, to me, the biggest
That's grounds to get rid of the guy. I'm distracted by
I
his
would say,
sniffling.
but...
And I didn't like the caucus's eyebrows. I mean, what are we doing?
No, I'm not saying that, but my
He's
point...
a partisan hack, though.
Yeah, but
he demonstrated himself to be that way.
That might be so. But first of all, I thought we were talking about him groping and snatching and attempting
But
to
Charlie,
rape as a high school person, and then
Well,
it's
the-
moving
the-
to his temperament. Are we just looking?
It kind of moves, doesn't it?
Are we
Doesn't
just
the-
looking for a reason? Any
It
reason?
seems that way to me. I don't know.
But what did Drew say before? Once upon a time, we had standards in journalism. Once upon a time, did we ever have standards in anything? And until we have set standards for what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, then, everything just continues to, what's right and what's wrong? If this is wrong today, 30 days from now, it's going to be somebody else. Bill Cosby's in jail. Harvey Weinstein I don't know where he is. Who's next?
Yeah, but that's sort of like what Drew and I are saying. I mean, so what's the reason? Is it he doesn't have temperament? He drinks too much?
But Charlie,
I think he's pro-life is really the problem, and I'm not a pro-life.
I think that's what it's about.
I'm not a pro-life person either. I mean, if he is pro-life, that's what I'm led to believe. I don't know what he is.
What do you mean you're not?
Well, that's what it was initially about, was his pro-life stance. But I think
who the hell's not pro-life?
I think his temperament. He showed it. He doesn't. have the
Okay,
temperament.
but 2 weeks
I
ago,
don't want to stand in front of that guy for a parking ticket.
But 2 weeks ago, you weren't talking about his temperament. You were talking about the accusations of when he was young. You're not talking about that anymore.
Remember
Why?
when he was on Fox News, though? He gave his first interview, and they said, "Oh boy, he didn't seem to deny it very vociferously, and he was kind of soft. Said he was a virgin, and he sounded like." And then all of a sudden, it was he needs to be more forceful, and then he's more forceful, and then he doesn't have the temperament, and I don't know.
What standards do we have for people holding any, whether it's an appointed office, whether it's a corporate position, whether it's an elected position? What are the standards we have? And if we establish those standards and apply them across the board, 98% of the people holding positions would be unemployed.
You mean because they're human beings?
Because they're human. But the point is, Charlie, is that in that degree of humanity, I mean, how many of them have crossed the line of respect? How many of them do or do not have the temperament to hold a position where your decision and your actions are going to impact an entire country?
I'm very intrigued by this whole conversation, not because I feel 100% one way or the other. I thought she was credible. I think he's a pretty credible person generally. I don't know about this one thing with Christine Ford, but this business of going through his yearbook and this letter he sent somebody when he was 17 years old to go to Beach Week. I don't know. And his suite mate wasn't interviewed by the FBI. I'm a little confused about where we're going with this.
I don't think any of that matters. I think what should matter the most, he lied about it.
Did he lie about it? How do you know he lied about it?
About the Devil's Triangle?
About Devil's Triangle, about Ralphing
I
at
don't
Beach
know.
Week and all that. I mean,
Just a beer game, dude. Look,
who cares about the drinking?
It's a
Why
beer
did you lie
game.
about
You
it?
drink the beer, okay? Then you get together with another guy, you double doink somebody, don't look at each other. And, you know, I mean, off.
Well, I understand that, and I don't care about any of that. That doesn't bother me. He could be a member of the 100 Keg Club all he wants. Don't lie about it. You're trying to be a Supreme Court justice, and he's lying to senators about what he did? I mean, catchable lies.
That's a good point.
Are they catchable lies? Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure.
He's not sure. I mean,
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I'm not a fan of his. I don't mean to act like I'm a fan. I'm
his
not sure
politics don't match
what-
mine.
You can have him, Drew.
I'm not for spying.
No, thanks.
I'm not for spying wantonly on American people. You know, I'm not. I love the Fourth Amendment. I'm not for Citizens United, where corporations can give unlimited money and have same speech as people. And frankly, whatever I think about life, it's settled. I'm not telling a woman what she's doing. So I'm not defending this guy or snatching women. I'm not saying that. But what I am angry about is what our quote-unquote representatives have done to us. They knew about this in July. She wanted it to be quiet. It could have been handled months ago, right? And he could have been found unfit. She could have kept her privacy. His family wouldn't have had to go through it. But it was a spectacle, a last-minute spectacle, because it is about holding on until the elections, maybe the Senate turns, and the Democrats pull on the Republicans what the Republicans did to Obama, wouldn't give him a nomination.
Well, but now the pundits are saying that might have backfired on them because Republican interest in turnout has gone up because of this.
Yeah, Republican women are the most motivated voter because of this, which is a little mind-blowing, but it is what it is.
Trump could have also withdrawn his nomination and made another nominee, but he said he didn't have a backup plan.
Well, how about if they had done this quietly in July, we could have handled it in a dignified way instead of taking the country through this shit.
Define dignified.
You know, like, listen, this guy's got some trouble back here. Maybe we're going to broom him and we're going to bring in the next one. Right?
Well, I mean, for sure they can find another right-wing conservative judge that would overturn Roe v. Wade and all that other stuff, who's not a rep, who has credible accusations against him for sexual assault. I mean, somebody a little less rapey would be fine.
I got to tell you, going from, when we first met this guy and I saw him and his smiling wife and his cute kids and he's a basketball coach and all that, to gang rapist, attempted murderer, 2 attempted rapes, flogging some girl in the face. I know it kind of blows my mind. I'm like, which guy is this? Is he somebody in between? Is he? And what's the goal? Is it that if he's not a Supreme Court judge, it's okay if he's a judge, even though he, gang raped or helped participate in gang rapes and spiked punch with Quaaludes? I mean, I'm so lost on this thing now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the
does this guy belong in prison or does he belong in any court? I don't know.
And then, the woman that's alleging the gang rapes, right? All of a sudden, the story's changing, and
How did that story get printed? By the way, she lied about she didn't go to Johns Hopkins. She lied. I mean, there's so much crap in her past.
It's a shit show.
Should we be
It's a
looking at her
shit
past?
show.
It is a shit show.
All I know
It's
is
crazy.
this: now we're at the point where everybody's bitching about the FBI again. Right? Here we go.
Full circle,
Trump's
Charlie,
bitching
full
about the
circle.
FBI now. Feinstein's bitching about, is the FBI the only fucking wing of government that's doing anything?
Did anyone in this room think that people would be happy after the FBI investigation?
No.
No.
Didn't we all know this? So why did we bother?
Well, I don't think, again, it's going to matter. He's still going to receive the votes and he's going to be named. I mean, and then you will go on to something else next week.
Okay, first of all, it's like I said, it's Friday, so you want to put some money down at this guy's the Supreme.
He's going to look at what Clarence Thomas is
He's
sitting
going to
there.
get confirmed.
He's now Clarence Thomas is now the longest serving Supreme Court justice. It took him 10 days of testimony. And what difference did it make? None. So we're playing the game, which is what we do. Things, Drew,
Life's
you
too
mentioned
important
about
for a
people.
game.
I understand that. But you talked about, all the people shouting in the elevators and with the protests. And that's fine. It makes people feel good, but it doesn't do any good. It doesn't.
Amy
make
Schumer
a
got
difference.
arrested. Emily Ratajkowski got arrested.
Yeah, and okay, it looks
And
good.
Orrin Hatch waved at protesters as the elevator door closed.
And we hang on to stuff like that. Oh my God, they went to jail for no, they didn't. It makes for a good sound bite. It makes for a good news clip. May make a good hashtag if it goes viral. Other than that, and it makes for good conversation on this great podcast. But other than that,
Thank you for that.
Which is not to minimize
it's not
the
at
issue.
all. It's not, Charlie, but we have to find something that's going to make a difference and not just make us feel good.
How about, this show, and it's more than a show because, again, Bob, you're right, man. This is about Roe v. Wade. And that's
exactly what
win
it's
it
about.
at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
union protections and,
spying on you, your Fourth Amendment
Right.
right. Big corporations versus the little guy. Absolutely. But what affects us more every day is our political system, and it's been hijacked, and they're stealing from us because the only real pot of money anymore is the public money, right? And Washington's nothing but the clubhouse.
And it's dwindling.
Charlie, I've been to the White House, and I've said nobody. No, I'm saying, but it's like nobody has any idea of what's going on in Washington. There's no way you can. I mean, when you think I used to think the city was like, but it's like, my God, it's impossible to know what's going on.
So we do know what's going on locally because Washington, the clubs meet. They divide up the booty and they bring it home. So here we are in Detroit.
OOTY, right?
Hashtag.
Okay, I just want to make sure. About the right one. We don't want any issues here.
But so guess what we have in Detroit again? Never went away in my opinion. Right? FBI's here. We got how many federal investigations do we have? Flint, the UAW, demolition,
And
towing, and now Gabe Leland, the white city councilman, because it's not just a black thing, Metro Detroit, and any of you listening in the country, it's a we thing. So here's Gabe Leland, caught on a wire, taking money from a businessman, trying to get some business done, right?
The perception of power is intoxicating. And people that are not accustomed to it, when they get exposed to it, when you're, and I used to tell people.
No, you're a cheap.
Well,
stealing.
Yeah, I understand that, but Charlie, that's the
You're
character.
stealing from the
Hold on.
poorest people.
And I'm not saying that's fine.
In America.
I'm saying just like we were talking character with Kavanaugh, we've got to look at character of people that we elect. Because I would tell people all the time, it's not about you. It's about what people think you can do for them or what you can do to get them to whoever is in power. And so when you start getting enticed by people and they want to give you stuff and let you in, you don't have to stand in line, you get VIP seats. If you aren't of strong character, it can just lure you right in, and that's how people get caught up.
They all seem to have no character.
Well, they must not.
Well, you know what?
Culture of
I'll
corruption.
tell you, if you want to hear the character of Gabe Leland, and you want to know no bullshit news, hey Bob, you got the Joe the intern by Joe the intern, the 58-year-old intern who doesn't know what he's doing.
Gave Leland the what for.
Cornered him and gave him the what for. So an exclusive, Joe the intern.
That was powerful.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Play it. So this is a week.
I'm not sure what he got out of him, but
Well,
it still was powerful.
You're gonna. He got nothing out of him, which says everything. And Leland fucking lied to me.
Excuse me, Councilman?
Yeah.
How you doing? My
going
name's
on?
Joe DeMarco. I'm with Charlie LeDuff's No Bullshit News Hour.
Okay.
You're the first white councilman we've had in decades. What's that got to be like? You get a lot of flack?
No, I just enjoy,
Yeah?
I work hard, and
Yeah.
when you work hard,
You work
You know.
hard.
You get things.
Work hard at taking
no,
money.
I just work hard. I help the constituents.
Yeah.
I've never had
I
a
help
problem.
myself.
My father and I, go back to 1981
Yeah.
to
Say,
elected
what is anybody
office.
accountable
Race never comes up. I got to run.
So they say that you're being investigated by the FBI. They're looking to indict you for something. What's up with that?
Careful. I'm just working hard. Just doing my job.
Right? Does that involve taking money from Casper Fiore?
Like I said, I'm just working hard.
You got a relationship with Fiore at all?
I'm just working hard. I'm doing my job, taking care of my constituents.
See, Drew,
And
he's
who are
saying
your
stuff.
constituents?
I represent District 7
Is Fiore one of them?
on the west side.
Okay, so he's donated money to the campaign, giving you cash directly. What has he done? Why are the feds?
If you want to,
after
if you want to come, to the west side and to District 7,
Yeah.
ask my constituents,
That's it.
how I'm.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he seeing the daughter? Wasn't he dating the daughter?
Gasper Fiore, for those that don't know, is a big. Go ahead, Karen. You were in politics
I
here.
was,
You know
I,
who
no,
Gasper is.
I was asking. I mean, Gasper,
And he's convicted, so you can say
well,
the
no,
fucking
I mean,
truth.
Gasper is a longtime business person.
Gasper's a thief. He's a convicted briber.
But I'm telling you what I know.
Okay.
I know him as a business person. I mean, my interactions with him have been limited, but always respectful and nice. My issue is that everybody that's holding any seat in any capacity has been the recipient of support from Gasper.
Oh, everybody taking money from Gasper in the
I didn't
Detroit
say
political scene.
I'm just saying whether or not he donated formally or whatever, he's been very supportive of a lot of people in this
But
city.
I saw
and
Leland
there
and
is a
Gasper
difference.
By an
drinking.
influence.
I saw him drinking in a bar when he's supposed to be working, and I mean, here this is Gabe Whiteboy Leland's number. Call him up, Bob. Will you? Let's see if Gabe will answer the
Think
phone.
he'll be more forthcoming?
Well, I asked
Joe
the guy-
softened him up?
Well, I sent Joe after him. Leland told me, man,
Joe's
there's
pretty good.
There's nothing to it. Yeah, Joe's real good.
For an intern,
You
he's
should
really
give him
good.
a promotion. He shouldn't be an
We did. We
intern.
promoted him last week to chief deputy intern.
Okay.
And got him a parking pass.
A little bit at a time.
So he's getting there. As soon as
Where can he park now with that pass?
It's how you wear it, Drew.
Okay.
No passes.
It's a credential.
As Karen knows, no pass is actually sanctioned by the city.
No more. No, we used to have, but no more. There's a different kind of sanction going on.
Is it ringing, Bob?
It is not.
Yeah, come on.
Does he get DQ'd?
I don't know. You think he went dark? Well, it's
Most
got to at
people
least
do when they
ring.
get in trouble. They shut down their social media. They disappear,
Patch it in, Bob, so we can hear.
as opposed to just dealing with it.
Because this guy told me before Joe got, there's nothing to it. So I don't like being lied to. It's no bullshit news. You don't. It's no comment. We'll see. Is it ringing? I can't hear it.
It's not ringing.
What is it doing?
Dialed, but it goes to nothing. Wonder if he killed this number.
Well, it would go boo boo boop.
Let me try it again.
You getting a dial tone?
No.
No dial
Oh,
tone?
yeah, I got a dial tone
Okay.
on the phone.
Okay.
Okay, well, and it doesn't answer. Is that what you're saying?
He's not answering, no.
Is it ringing?
Does it go to message? Let
No,
me leave
it doesn't do anything.
I'm gonna call him right here. I'll leave him a message. After all that,
Does it ring?
yeah, it's ringing.
Put him on speaker.
Got it ringing?
Yeah, Bob.
Charlie's still working on the staff here.
Yeah, we're still learning.
Still putting some pieces together. This equipment's a little hinky, I will say.
No, it's pretty good. It's down here.
We've had a couple problems with the phone,
That's all right.
but usually it'll ring.
Technology is human too.
Yeah.
Gabe Leland is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
All right, Gabe, if you're listening, you're a rat. You're a rat. After Kilpatrick and all that, listen. And you're on a wire, man. You're on. That's what the indictments are showing. You're a rat. You stole. The black guy's doing 28. We came out of bankruptcy. You're taking bags, allegedly. If you did, 30 for you. 30. No excuse. 30. unless you're going to flip.
What's the assistant police chief that got kind of swept in with this thing?
The deputy chief of police is Celia Washington. Okay,
Yeah.
so she took a loan from Gasper but forgot to pay it back.
Oh, did anybody buy any of that?
Fuck no.
That's ridiculous.
Fuck no. But here's the thing.
And you know what? Right after Kilpatrick, that does blow my mind that so little time passed. People go, it's open season again.
It's the process, though. People have to look at the process. The political process is not conducive to progress. And there's so many loopholes, it almost makes it easy for people. Nobody's paying attention. I mean, they're not. And so when we start talking about making things different and better, we need a different process.
Well, but how about the appearance? Just even the appearance of, does anybody really worry about that?
I don't think so, because I think people feel comfortable and think that they are going to be the one that can get away with it. But, you know, public.
Here, Bob, this is the guy that's wearing the wire, Bob Carmack. Yeah, here's his number. Call him.
I mean,
I know the guy wearing the number.
Public funds aren't for public consumption.
Well, that's the way I always understood it, but it sure seems otherwise.
Not in service.
Unfortunately. And that's why so many cities, including Detroit, Flint, are in the condition that they're in.
Well, you know, and we're all led to, we sort of have the perception that Detroit is so much better.
It's perception, Drew.
Yeah,
it is perception.
I know.
I mean, we have, and I use this analogy for better or worse. We've painted a pig yellow and expect it to be interpreted or embraced as a duck. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's like we put icing on an uncooked cake, and at some point it's going to fall apart again. But the people that are putting the icing on are going to be long gone.
Well, it seemed like when the city shed $17 billion in debt, it seemed like, oh, well, the equation's a lot easier now. We can do this, but it's not that easy.
Restructuring of debt, and
the revenue streams are,
and we got rid of some. There are no revenue streams. There are no new, and people say, "Oh, we got new businesses," but they're getting so many tax incentives. It's not benefiting the city. We've got just over 600,000 people in a city that's built for 2 million. So it's like having a large house. You're still paying a heating bill for a mansion, and you're only occupying one room. So so we got rid of Bill Isle, the water department, the DIA. So those assets were transferred over or disposed of. So those obligations were reduced. But a restructuring, we're still very quietly, in my opinion, doing the same thing that got us in this position in the first place.
Where's the money for the schools? Like when you were there, just when you were $500 million to fix the schools, right? $500 million. A lot of the schools that we put the $500 million into, crumbling, falling apart. A lot of those schools have the lead and copper.
No water?
They have it, and they were just redone.
Well, this is the thing, too. And the schools people are talking about, the lead in the school, but,
where's the fucking money?
I don't know, Charlie. I don't have it. I'll tell you that.
The contractor in charge of getting all that done was the contractor in charge of building the Wayne County Jail.
Well, then you would know.
Is the contractor who was banned from doing work with the water department because of his dealings with Kilpatrick. It's the same fucking shit.
It always is.
And I'm tired of people. Listen, I'm screaming. I'm sorry, listener. But you don't even know. When people get a hold of me, they're like, what do you got against Duggan? What do you got against Snyder? Look, man, it's the job. It's no bullshit. You got to keep track of this stuff because it just comes back around. We're broke. We're fucking broke. And some people are getting rich, and you out there are paying for it, and you don't know it, and you think a couple of new restaurants is worth it.
But everybody's on the happy pill, Charlie, just like Drew said, the perception. So we got 5 new people, and everything is good. There was a very quiet, very small article in Cranes some time ago that said, all these new developments that we're overbuilding. My son is an apartment on the.
What does that mean? Wait, what
was that? Overbuilt? Did you say?
Yeah, that we're overbuilding. Like we have all these residential buildings that are popping up, but they're not occupied. Like there's nobody to go inside of them. Where are the people? They've got incentives from companies that invite
people. You pretend they're there.
Well, we do. My son is in.
It's funny. I see numbers
that nobody there.
Your husband's in real estate. Right. Remember, he's taking the Chinese around, and they're like 97% full. Where's all the people?
There are no people.
That's what I always hear, too, that everything is full, that it's hard to find a place. Hey, you want a loft? Oh, they got to build more buildings. We don't have any lofts left.
What about the office space?
And the rent's going up. That's what you hear, but
Well, the
that's not the case.
The rent's going up, and I'm just saying it was a very small piece in Cranes, and I never heard anything else about it. But they're saying that it's being overbuilt.
Well, look, do your tax abatements. Okay, look, it's a vacant piece of land. It's empty. Okay, don't pay tax on it for 10 years. It was dead anyway. I get that. Capture some of your people's income tax. Okay, fine. Those people weren't there making an income, but why are we writing checks as well? Where are we going to get? Because the budget balloon is coming. Mm-hmm. We borrowed money. That debt balloon is coming. Nobody's paying into it. We're giving them checks. Doesn't anybody see the potential for bankruptcy coming again?
Happy pill, Charlie.
Hey, did you get Carmack?
He's on the line.
Hey, is that you, Bob?
Yes, sir, Charlie.
Bob, you the guy wearing the wire on Fiore?
Not on Fiore.
Not on Fiore. I mean on Leland. Yeah? You were wearing it?
Yes, sir.
And you went to the feds and told them and you wanted to wear it?
Yes, sir.
Stop yes, sir, and me. So, what's up with that rat, Fink? What happened? Did you give money? Did you pay a bribe?
Gabe Leland. Did what now?
Did you gave Gabe Leland, how much you give him?
I gave him $7,500.
And he took it, right?
He took it.
Well, walk us through it. Why'd you give him $7,500?
The FBI, that's all they wanted to give him. He wanted $15,000, and they wanted to do it in 2 installments. So I gave him $7,500 first, and I was supposed to give him $7,500 later.
For what? What was the purpose of bribing him?
Well, the purpose was for he went and sell a piece of property on Michigan Avenue that was property that I owned that the city thought they owned.
And did they take it from you?
They didn't take it from me. They said they got it from a foreclosure back in 2010, and it wasn't from me. It was from the person I bought it from. And the situation is there was a stay from the bankruptcy judge when the bank went bankrupt in 2009. And the treasurer should never foreclose on the property, but for some reason the treasurer did at that time, and it was Ray Witovich.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about Ray Vitovich.
He was buying influence.
You were buying influence. You wanted your property back.
I wanted them to go away and leave my property alone.
But they demolished it. Who demolished it?
Well, it was dug in order to hit.
What do you mean dug in order?
They turned the water, the heat, and electricity off in one day, and then what they did is try to tear it down in the same day. And they did that because they knew I was out of town. I was in D.C. at that time. I went in front of Gabe Leland's committee and told him I would be out of town. And on the day they knew I was out of town, they tried to tear it down. They didn't come in the building and tore it down with everything I owned inside of it.
So, you went to the feds. They got Leland. Do you think that the feds are moving someplace else, or is it Leland where it ends?
I think that the feds are going to move towards wherever Leland leads them. And one of the things that he said on the tape that you won't see in the indictment is that he said, what are you going to ask the administration for now, once he took the money?
Well, you had Leland in deposition, right? And you guys asked Leland if he ever scuttled a development deal at the behest of Duggan, and he took the fifth. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Ooh. And you are suing the city. Are you who are you deposing next week? So you got
deposing.
Deposing, bro. You got a lawyer in this, I hope.
Exactly.
Okay, because you don't want to be supposing anybody.
Mike Duggan.
You got the
Bush
mayor.
Hallowell.
You're deposing the mayor.
Yes.
You said Mike Duggan and who else?
Mike Duggan, Butch Hallowell, Gabe Leland, and there's about 3 others.
Who else?
I can't remember all their names right now.
Related to the mayor, his money guys?
Those guys are going to be in about 2 weeks.
Can you explain something? You said Mike Duggan ordered a hit. Didn't you say that?
Well, I did say he ordered a hit. What I mean by that is that he ordered a hit on the building. I mean to tear it down.
Why does he care about this building?
He don't care about that building, but he cares about me going in front of city council and going against the political will of how politics is ran. And what I mean by that is that I didn't pay. I didn't pay during Kirkpatrick. I didn't pay during Bing. And
Okay.
then I didn't pay during Duggan.
That's-
But because I didn't pay, they wanted to show me who was boss.
And Leland was going to help you out with that.
Well, Leland was just supposed to do his job that he's paid to do. You know, he's supposed to protect the citizens to make sure the administration does their job.
I was just
And
trying
he
to
brought me.
understand exactly what you were alleging when you said that. I wasn't. It was a little unclear to me, but maybe you guys knew.
No, I'm not. You know, it's Bob here. It's Bob
Yeah.
Carback. But hey, Bob. So where do you think this goes? Who tore down your house? The building authority, right?
The building authority.
The one
exactly.
who was all caught up in the federal grand jury in the demolition stuff.
Exactly.
So everything's red hot here. You got Leland. You got demolition. You might be a linchpin here. If Leland knows stuff and doesn't want to do his 30 years, you might have actually just pushed this whole thing over the cliff.
Well, I hope so, because, you know, one thing is when you have the building authority and you have the funds that they have, and to tear down this commercial building, they use TARP funds. They didn't use the funds that they can, like housing funds.
They use the federal
TARP
funds.
fund-
They use the federal funds to tear your building down.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is that true?
That is true.
Because
That's TARP
you're not
funds.
allowed to
That's
use
what
the
they
federal
use.
funds to tear down commercial property.
Not at all. That's federal law.
Oh my!
A lot to unpack there.
But
Did you get it?
yeah, but the
Yeah.
Okay.
but the FBI's been out, looked at the building, talked to the people on both sides of the building. It's even in the records at the city that the city-owned worker said that the building was safe, didn't need to be torn down, that Mr. Carmack has made it where it's safe and there ain't no bricks falling. They talked to the people next door. They told them that it was safe. About 6 months later, they come down and tear it down, safe or unsafe.
All right. Listen, man. I got to call somebody to get this here clear. But are you still wearing the mullet or the comb over? Which
What's
one you
that
wearing?
now?
Which one are you wearing? The mullet or the comb over? Or the
I
comb
don't-
over mullet?
I don't carry nothing, brother.
That's comb over.
I don't need to. Come get me. Come get me, brother.
Hey, by the way, Gabe was wanting free meals and auto body stuff too, right? According to that indictment. He's hitting you up for the cheap shit, lunches, car work.
No, what he did is he sent his secretary down there, the girl that was in the paper and the news, that to fix her car. They had to rent a car that they wrecked, and during this time, they wanted me to fix it for free. So
How much damage?
It was about $700 some worth of damage.
Did you fix it?
Of course I did.
All right, Bob, we'll let you go. Listen, keep me informed, but stop calling at midnight, would you?
I will, buddy.
Okay, man. Talk to you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bob, listen, I
Yeah.
got it. Here's another number. I got the guy that former federal prosecutor in charge of organized crime in Detroit. He's running for attorney general.
A lot of people getting in car accidents around town.
God damn. I mean,
Same person. She was pretty, from Grosse Pointe, and she was pretty gangster,
Wow.
who was
Did you get rear-ended too?
No, that's the one who hit me.
who took the 17 pounds of sausage?
That was, oh gosh, she's deceased now. I can't even think of her name.
City councilwoman?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, everybody is just so lowball. Like, give me $5, give me $10, give me.
Well, Monica Conyers, what'd she take? $3,000? It was $1 billion sludge hauling deal. I thought, why would you do that for $3,000? I would think your vote be worth a lot more if it's for sale.
Yeah, in a
$1 billion
Mr. Fish
deal?
parking lot because she liked the fish sandwiches to boot.
You learn anything from Bernie Madoff? Where the fuck's
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ringing him, Bob?
So it looks like Collins may be a yes vote after having lunch with McConnell.
You think?
Yeah, I know, it's gonna
McConnell
go.
optimistic about vote after lunch with Collins.
It's going through.
I think it would have gone through last week too, honestly.
What do you want, Charlie? This? No?
Paper Bob's got there.
But the FBI investigation was supposed to make everyone feel better, and it just didn't quite pan out that way.
Hey, Chris, you on the line?
I am.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. How's the run for AG going, Attorney General, as an independent?
Well, if we can get the parties to stop, trying to keep me off of the debate stage, it'll be going a lot better.
So they don't want you in the debate?
Nope. We were supposed to have a debate yesterday, in fact, and the Democratic nominee refused to appear on the stage with me, so they canceled it.
Jesus. Well, look, let me tell the listener who you are. You're like clown, just some nobody running for an office that you're not going to win. You, correct me if I'm wrong, you were the lead prosecutor in the Abu Ghraib torture trials. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You put the American soldiers on trial and convicted them for that torture.
That's correct.
So you'll do the hard stuff.
That's right. Nope. We had my last 2.5 years in the military was spent traveling around the world, to include going to Baghdad to try to figure out what exactly occurred at that facility. We did. We put the people who were responsible for it on trial, and we convicted the folks who were responsible.
It must have been, this is a Chris Graveline, the independent for Attorney General in the state of Michigan. You were in the Army, were you not?
Yes. So, I was a captain at the time. I was doing most of those trials, and then I left as a major. And I came back here in 2006. I was an assistant Wayne County prosecutor when I got out of the Army.
And then you ended up going to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
That's right. And I was there for about 9 years, and the last 5 of which I was the head of the violent organized crime unit of that office.
So you got a resume for real.
I would like to think so. I've spent the last 18 years putting together some of the biggest cases, either on the world stage or here in the state of Michigan.
And so what vomit organization or corrupt billionaires are you taking money from?
None. I've actually made part of my campaign that I'm not taking any PAC money from any issue advocacy PAC, or I'm not seeking any of their endorsements either.
Good for you.
So, Chris, Charlie, ask my question?
I was going to hang up on him. He sounds like a nut.
No.
That's what we need. That's the nut we need.
You've not had the opportunity to have a debate, but if you were, what 3 things would you want listeners or viewers to come away with after hearing you on the debate stage?
Well, I think the first thing is we need to turn this Office of Attorney General away from the partisanship that Bill Schuette's put it on, the course on, and then which Dana Nessel's also arguing the Democrats should use it for. Both political parties have targeted this particular office to essentially be the law firms for their personal political parties across the United States.
Okay, that's what.
And then the second thing I would do is point people to take a look at the experience of the 3 candidates who are running. I think the Republican candidate has a grand total of 9 misdemeanors and 1 felony trial under his belt. And Dana Nessel hasn't actually prosecuted or investigated a crime in over 13 years.
And number 3?
And then I would also say take a look at what Frank Kelly accomplished when he was there for 36 years. Because of no term limits, he was effectively, could be a nonpartisan attorney general, and I think that's something that I could actually bring to the table.
To do the people's work.
That's right. Consumer protection, supplement local authorities where they need help with, larger rings of identity theft or opioid trafficking, or the doctors who overprescribe the opioids. Those are the types of things I think you could actually bring to the office if you weren't worried about is the Republican Party up or down or the Democratic Party up or down.
Well, I think that's what the people want to see.
You would like to think that.
Well, I do. I know that from talking to them. So, I mean, good luck with it. So let's see if you speak honestly. Let's see if you got the balls here. You, pretty heavyweight prosecutor in Michigan. So, in your opinion, let's look at what we got going on here. We've got City Hall embroiled in the demolition, the federal money, the TARP money, right? There's been a grand jury, sealed indictments, I'm told. There's the towing convictions in the police department. There's Leland, Gabe Leland. He just got caught on the wire taking bribes. We got Flint, right? We've got the UAW. What's going on in Michigan and Detroit? Like, how do you see it? How corrupt is
Well,
this place?
Well, I mean, I think what you've got going on, generally speaking, are a lot of people. If you don't have strong law enforcement presence and the ability to bring these types of cases, people are going to take advantage of it. And so you've got to let people know they can't take advantage of not having a watchdog out there. And I think that's one of the important things, just not taking any of the issue advocacy, PAC money or whatnot, is so many of our politicians are bought and sold. And it's whoever's giving them the money, and then they feel free to look the other way.
Wow.
And so, I mean, that's the whole thing. You can't look the other way.
So,
what's the law? Have you violated it? And if so, then we're going to bring a case.
So, Chris, who are your friends? I mean, because at some point, and I'm only asking this to try to, connect the dots, because at some point, friendships seem to come into play to someone's benefit and someone's dismay. But who are your friends?
Well, I mean, the people most active in helping me with my campaign are lawyers that I've met through the years, both on the prosecution side, federal and local prosecutors, but also criminal defense counsel. They also know that I'm a fair, even-handed type of person. It's actually funny. I think I might have actually raised more money from criminal defense counsel, who I've gone, hammer and tong against in court. But they also know that I'm not one of these people who hold some type of personal grudge. They have a job to do. I have a job to do. We go hard at it. But at the end of the day, we can both go and have a beer and talk.
Kavanaugh with the beer. Don't say the beer.
I
like beer.
I guess you can't. I guess you can't drink alcohol at all nowadays. But
just don't say beer, Chris.
I like beer.
Yeah, but I mean, we can also have martinis if that's what we want.
My bike likes beer. So listen, Chris Graveline, independent for Attorney General and for the state of Michigan. What's taking so long? What's taking so long with the look? There's been grand juries that have come and gone. What's taking so long with the federal cases, let's say with demolition? If there are sealed indictments, can those just disappear?
They can't just disappear, but I can't speak because I don't know any of the specifics of that particular investigation. But essentially, one thing that we've attempted to do in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and particularly in the unit I was running, is not to let investigations wallow on for months and years. I mean, if there's crime being done, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed quickly.
Even if it ruins the progress of the city?
It does hamper the progress. Timeliness of justice is very important. You can't let it just sit there and fester. There are real consequences, and there's real consequences whether you're investigating homicides and shootings or whether you're investigating corruption.
But it gets political at the top, doesn't it? I mean, you guys will do your work, and ultimately it's not up to you to pull the trigger.
Well, I would hope. I mean, I've never been in the public corruption unit in our office, but I would hope that politics never play a part. That's one of the things that...
But it does, doesn't it? Come on, you want to run as the honest guy. It does, doesn't it?
And that's why I'm pausing here. I personally have never seen it play a function from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit.
Okay, then.
I never have.
We watch the fireworks go. Hey, listen, Chris, we got to jump, but come on down to the Coney Island this week, American Coney Island, right? On Griswold.
Well, I'm more of a Lafayette guy.
Oh
no!
Get him off!
No,
get him off!
Get
him off! Listen, and I'll make sure.
American's great. My kids love American.
Oh yeah, it's the only one, and we'll make sure that it's extra special, tasty, Vidalia onions, right? Mustard.
That's right. Everything goes on there.
But we will not pay for it. I do not buy politicians lunch. They do not buy me lunch. Okay.
That's totally fine with me.
Just make sure it's good and clean, which it always is. So you're no better. You're no better or worse than anybody.
That's right.
Okay, because American Coney Island is the oldest family-owned restaurant in Michigan. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Did you know they actually invented the Coney dog?
I did not know that.
Yeah, in 1917, Gus Caros.
Is it National Coney Day or is this a commercial?
This is a commercial. This is a commercial.
And you will love Grace when you meet her. Grace Carroll.
Oh, she's
Grace
great.
Carroll's, third
Yeah,
generation.
she
Well,
is
some
the
could tell that I
best.
probably have met her. My kids always insist going to American every time we go downtown.
And I want you to notice the new paint job out front. I did that. Because you know what?
nice.
You know what, Chris? I'm not doing bullshit news. So I'd rather restore a landmark than do puppy dog stories.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, indeed, sir. So listen, good luck. I'll see you this week at the American Coney. And if you can't get there, you can always order a Coney kit. Just go to AmericanConeyIsland.com, okay?
Well, now you know what I gave away for our Christmas gift at our family get-together last year.
Did you do that?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, because we have I have brothers and sisters who live out of state, so we all had to bring a food item, and I brought the American Coney Island kit.
And did it go over big?
Oh, yeah.
Did it
of
show up
course.
tasty and fresh?
Absolutely.
That's my man. All right, brother, good luck, and thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck.
Yep, thanks.
He was also working on the UAW case, that whole big corruption thing, which the feds have said is not over by any means.
Oh, the Palm Springs money and the
Cigars and the wine and
remember
the
that.
swimming
$37,000 pens.
Yes, basically, corporate is
Selling out the union.
and the union is selling out his membership.
Yeah.
And that was like a big story that the media missed this week, was Trump's new NAFTA deal.
Yeah.
The new NAFTA. If you think about this, how'd Trump get in office? The Rust Belt, right? Populism. I'm going to save your jobs.
It had a lot to do with it.
Do you remember one story where anybody talked to a factory worker in Macomb County?
You?
I did. Nobody else did.
Nobody else ever does, Charlie.
They don't. They'll be on cable talking about them like they know about them, and they don't even bother. It's such a huge piece of news. And basically, the sum total of it is 40 to 45% of vehicles made in North America have to be from a factory that's 16 an hour, which really ain't shit.
It's not.
No. It's better than they pay in Mexico, but
That means the Dodge Ram is not going to go down to Mexico, but
I've heard people complain. I've heard candidates complaining about trade forever. I mean, as far as I can remember, campaigns, trade imbalance. And when Trump put tariffs, it was universally, oh my God, how stupid. And now we have a new deal. Is the phone still off the hook? I'm just curious.
no, I
Okay.
think it's
I thought I heard
probably
something.
Joe the intern. Yeah.
Oh, Joe. Oh, okay. Okay, it is off the hook. And now we have a trade deal, and you're right. It is the story that just sort of went to the moon.
Yeah. And
I mean, I heard a lot about how rude he was to Trudeau, and I heard a lot about tariffs and how horrible they were, but I don't hear much about this trade deal. It's just like it doesn't matter or it's insignificant. I'm not sure what it is.
Well,
I'm not even saying it's good.
It's basically preserves what we have. It's not great because remember about a decade ago, a UAW worker made 75% more than the average factory worker in America. And now a new hire, Joe, stop
Is
grunting.
he eating?
What is he doing?
He's really distracting me.
But now a new hire in a UAW plant makes 20% less than the average factory worker in America. So we've lost a lot. We're not getting it back. It stopped the bleeding, which is more than I can say. And this isn't any Trump endorsement by any means, but it's more than the past 3 administrations have done.
Well, it stopped the bleeding, but the blood's already gone.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's life support.
Well, would you think we could have an economy this good with a president with an approval rating this low?
Well, is the economy
And
that
I'm not
good, or
saying
is
it's
the
wrong.
stock market good?
I just,
The stock market's good.
Look at unemployment. Look at GDP is over 4%.
But
Look at wages.
And I'm not
wages aren't
endorsing
doing
anybody
anything.
either.
Wages aren't doing
And am I a
anything.
room full of MAGA hat wearers? Do I need to get out of here?
Well, wages aren't doing anything, and there are less people working today in raw numbers than were working a decade ago. So there's also some hocus pocus on how we actually measure unemployment.
And it's controlling the narrative too, which is also an issue for a little bit to bring it back here, bring it back home. When you control the narrative, I mean, you can skew numbers, you can, package and present all the good talking points and make even the worst things look good. And that's also what's happening.
And I've changed my mind. Remember when I said, well, it's better. There's less tension in the streets, like from the urban centers. I said because, at least people are making $10 an hour. I've reconsidered it. You know what it is? The media's lost interest because there's just as many droppings by cops, suspect ones, as there've been. But Trump is so much easier and.
Well, he's more entertaining.
He is, so let's focus on that.
And it's all about him.
Instead of running out to Nashville and hyping everybody up.
Imagine what would happen for one day if nobody retweeted, responded, acknowledged, repost, or talked about Trump. 24 hours.
He would lose his mind.
Exactly.
So anyway, let's.
It's funny.
Which is why he had the toilet paper on his shoe going into the plane.
Did he?
Yeah.
How'd I fucking miss that?
There's a part of me that says, just ignore him, but he is the president.
And
I think it's hard.
And that's a sad state.
It's hard for people to ignore the
That
president.
toilet paper on his shoe is a year-old video. I don't know why it just now resurfaced.
Well,
Where is it? Can we see
I'm
this?
not sure.
Where is it resurfaced?
It's Joe.
Is this breaking news?
I just have difficulty with
I
trying to
saw it on
understand
Twitter
a
last
leader
night.
who can't comprehend beyond a or speak beyond a sixth grade level. That's a challenge for me.
You talk about Joe?
No, I'm talking about
the
Trump.
president.
I can listen to Joe. I can't listen to Trump.
Joe, what were you doing on Twitter last night when we didn't even have the audio tape?
What's his Twitter handle?
Yeah, what's your Twitter handle, Joe?
You had access to the audio tape. I don't know why you guys took so long trying to download it.
No, don't do that.
But
Don't do that. I'm not going to relive this with you. I told you to put it on Google Drive. Did you get a Google Drive account yet?
Yes, it's up. I had one. I didn't even know it. Matt had to explain that to me. If you got any kind of Google account, then you've got a Google Drive account.
Thank you, Joe. I told you that 4 times. But anyway, I digress. We'll take care of that. Joe, you lost your job.
What job?
We're talking.
The job that was
had a
paying
job.
You
you.
lost.
The one here?
I was a slave.
What do you mean?
Where I was so-called working was basically as a slave. Wasn't being paid no decent wages. Working from before sun up till after sundown for $80 a day, 6 days a week. So that you're not able to look for another job because your entire waking life is spent on this one.
So,
Which is, that's par for minimum wage type jobs.
And you're an electrician.
Well, I'm supposed to be one, but where I was at, the guy didn't appreciate me as that.
Okay,
He just wanted to use me as a crumb.
We got a new thing here, Joe. We have hashtag hire Joe.
What's his Twitter handle?
What's your Twitter handle, Joe?
Hey,
Joe, what's your Twitter handle, Joe?
what is my Twitter handle? Oh, Joey D714.
Joey D714.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real catchy.
Not really catchy.
That's my birthday.
Of course.
I think you should get a new one that says hire Joe. Hashtag hire Joe, okay? So anyway, Joe trying to make the rent on his little house in the ghetto. And so I sent Joe out to Panhandle. See what he could do. He went to 8 Mile and
Sounds so mean.
I-75.
That's a crowded area to try.
That's a heavy
tough
corner.
area.
It's not mean.
Joe's got 200,
Actually,
270 followers on Twitter, by the
Charlie,
way.
you mentioned something about the mayor had said something about the panhandlers. I wonder what he said and who to, because that day when I could not find any. I found like 2 citywide. I was all over the place.
No, you weren't. Remember,
I was.
You called me. You're
I
driving in
was in
circles.
Woodward and 75. 8 Mile 75, Woodward and 8 Mile. I came back down to the hood on 75 in Livernois. There was no beggars there either.
Joe, listen.
What did the mayor say? that
Joe,
you got rid of
Joe, 8 in Woodward and 8 in 75 is a mile apart. So you weren't all over the city, and then you drove home.
Drove?
No.
Come on now. Well, anyway, let's play this. This is Joe.
I'm going to start this thing recording now. Put the lock on this thing. And hopefully it'll stay recording. Going out here to see if I can get my bag on out here in the streets. All right, so in position, northbound I-75 at 8 Mile on the south side, and holding out my sign. So far, I'm on my 4th light cycle, and and no cars have interacted with me at all, like I'm not even here. The lady adjusting herself in the mirror like it was important. You know, this sitting out here on the side of the freeway begging for change is not no easy or fun job. How you doing? You spare any change at all? Help out of work electrician. What do you usually think when you ride by here and see people out here begging for change?
I'm not giving my money. I got calluses. I ain't got my fingernails done. I do hard work.
I understand. Okay. You got any change to spare? Sorry. Otherwise, this Jeep stopped. You put that phone down and pay attention to the road, man. You're going to get ran into out here. You got any change for out-of-work electrician?
I don't have anything right now, sorry.
What do you usually think about when you see people out here asking for change?
I hope all the best for you.
Hey, mister.
It's like Donna Summer.
Kind of aggressive.
People looking at me all crazy
His
over
corner,
there.
his corner side manners
Down here,
atrocious.
Pulled up the sign, head to the corner, and go find the actual professional panhandler.
You should put on a
How
suit.
y'all doing?
What's up, guy?
Real good. My name's Joe. Chris, you been out here doing this long?
Yeah.
Do you do very well doing
I've been
doing
out here
this?
longer than anybody.
Go over there. Talk to her.
Come here. What do you want to know?
What's your name?
I'm Carrie. Why?
Carrie.
No.
You said you've been out here doing this longer than anybody?
Yeah. 23 years.
23 years. You know, how much money on a good day can somebody make out here doing this?
$100 or better.
Okay.
It's
$100.
not like that every day.
But that's not every day is such a
More
good
than
day.
80.
What's average?
Anywhere from $15 on.
Anywhere from $15 on up. So is it really worth it? I mean, is there better
No,
ways?
but you don't have a choice when you live in an abandoned house. I can't work because I'm blind in my right eye. So I applied for my disability. And they don't want me working.
So it's not the greatest thing, but it's the only thing.
Yeah, unless I want to sell pussy, and I don't do that. I used to.
Yeah, so I thought I'd come out here and give it a try. I had my little sign made up. I stood over there by the freeway. I didn't do no good at all. People didn't even want to talk to me. So what am I doing wrong?
You can't talk to people, that's why. That's called aggressive panhandling, and you can get arrested for it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me that. So is this you would be out here all day or a few hours a day?
I'm out here all day.
Are there some days?
Because why go home when it's really not even a home? It's an abandoned house. There's no power, no running water. So what am I going to do? Go home and sit there and stare at the wall?
Can you get on like welfare or aid?
Yeah, I get food stamps, but food stamps don't buy shampoo. Food stamps don't buy things that you need.
Right, just food only. So yeah, like you said, shampoo, toiletries.
I don't care how
clothes.
many of us have addiction problems out here. We still gotta live.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
We still gotta survive. No, there are people out here from the suburbs that come down here. They spend their whole paychecks on crack. And then they come out here hustling, hoping to get money because they don't want to go home and face whatever dilemma they have. You know, they come out here and they take away from us. If I showed you where I lived, I have a groundhog in my house, I have a skunk in my house, I have rats, mice.
Oh,
I mean, I've got all kinds of critters I live with.
But they don't bother you.
No. The groundhog, I actually named him. His name's Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
You named the groundhog Bob.
Yeah, he's my pet, kind of.
Okay.
So you wore your crummiest clothes, I see.
Well, actually, these are my regular clothes. This is what I normally wear. Except for the jean jacket. I wouldn't be wearing this until it was a little bit colder. But I'm trying to hide the microphone, you know. So, other than that, I mean...
Now, why don't you look out?
Because, all right, I did just get fired last week. I do electrical work. I work on anything electrical. I was working at a truck stop up until last week doing electrical work on trucks. And that came to an end last week. It's a long story, but you know, I'm not far. I'm like hovering above the streets right now. I'm just struggling to pay my rent. And I don't know what I'm going to tell my landlord. I haven't told him that I've been fired yet.
Most people like you are smart people. Okay, just because you got fired doesn't mean nothing. I can look at you and see you're a very intelligent man.
He is.
I really want people to know that we're struggling.
Okay.
I only need help.
All right, Carrie. Good luck out here. Have a good day.
Joe, she was crying?
Towards the end there, she kind of was, yeah.
Because his life's got it down?
Right.
Joe, you didn't
She's
think...
only got one eye. One eye looks like something bad happened to it. It doesn't work.
You didn't thank her for the compliment. She said you were intelligent, Joe, and you didn't thank her.
But, well,
she called you out on your wardrobe, though.
She said you look homeless.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to blend in and do my job out there, Beg. I couldn't wear a suit out there.
You don't have a suit, Joe.
Yeah, I do. I got a suit.
Zany gave it to you. That's his dead grandpa's suit.
But that may attract attention.
I got
more
three
money.
suits.
Good point.
And more
money. I did used to have a job where I wore a suit to work every day.
What was that
That was
job?
a long time ago.
What was that job?
It was right before the collapse. I was actually selling loans, selling refis for a mortgage company. And they did some dirty, very dirty business. Not cool at all.
You did.
Then they killed some of my deals. I had some pretty good deals going to actually help people stay in their houses, and they killed them. The mortgage companies are very dirty.
Joe's doing refis?
I can tell you that firsthand.
Real?
That's what he says.
Joe's smart.
Joe, were you working for Quicken Loans?
No. No, I wish I could have.
Let's not
That's
name
where
the
the good
company.
money was at.
No, that's going to help.
Why don't you go apply to Quicken?
I did. I applied there last year.
Did you hear
They said
back?
he would call me back.
They didn't call you
called
back?
me back and said, yeah, I'm sorry, we chose somebody else, but I'll keep you in mind.
Okay, I think you should go back this week.
Yeah, see if they kept you in mind.
Yeah, a little, follow-up would, call them back a year later.
Show some interest.
That always works. Like,
Say, you said you keep me in mind.
Yeah, some go-gettedness. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, well, once a year, just to let them know you're still there.
Right.
Well, anyway, Joe, listen, man. I'm proud of you. That's that. Once you learn how to do the technical stuff, which apparently you studied for, and seem to have forgotten, you're pretty good.
That was a great interview, Joe.
That was a great interview.
You did a great job. We just need to work on, you got to work the mic. Like once you identified yourself, you could pull the mic out from under your coat and actually use it so we could hear her better.
Yeah, maybe put a windsock on it and, talk into it.
But the content of the interview was good.
That added to the character of the interview. I liked it. The scruffiness of the interview. I liked it.
See, Joe, I really do believe, Joe, that because you have a heart, right, and you have courage, and you like people, that you could be one of the best reporters in this town.
Yeah, he's good. He's got
my
personality.
friend, I have a friend across the street that keeps telling me, you're trying to get me killed.
Well,
that Charlie Duff is going to get you killed, man.
Hey, what?
He's sending you the Mac and B-Wack.
Well, let's put it like this. Yeah, tell your friends this. That woman you're talking to, I recognize her voice because I did a story out on that corner about 8-9 years ago about the guy that held that corner down and got hit by a car and crippled. He lived, he hit a light post, and he was the guy that invented the wheelchair hustle. Wasn't really in a wheelchair, but he used it.
What?
Yeah. He would pull up, bring
it. Worked pretty well?
Yeah, he'd bring his Lincoln.
Innovative.
He'd bring his Lincoln, then pull out the
Oh,
wheelchair,
I remember that.
and then sit in it. and then he got mowed over, and that's nice. He lived. That's not the miracle. The miracle is the driver was insured, because in Detroit, half the people are not. He got $60,000 and got off the corner.
Well, gee, maybe.
And
I
that
need to go
woman,
visit,
that woman was trying to get some
Sure,
money
if the
off.
karma's right in that story.
So,
by the way, light cycle. I never knew the term light cycle. Is that a homeless term? I guess because he said he sat through 4 light cycles.
the lights change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. But
Joe's a smart guy.
Okay.
But Joe, I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done. So.
But Mac and Bewick is not bad if you know the area. You go meet the tiger lady. Her real name is Mary. She hangs out there.
Karen Dumas goes to Mac and Bewick.
No,
so
Karen
so
Dumas
relax,
does
Joe.
not, but I know about it.
It's a rough area.
Apparently, from the people I was talking to, I'm just the wrong color to be out there asking the questions that Charlie sent me to
Bob,
ask.
every corner, there are corners that I wouldn't go to in the city of Detroit now that are occupied by white people are at the bus stop. White people are begging on the corners.
Yeah,
it's a different Detroit.
Don't
so
use
not
it as an excuse.
That's
You do
not
that,
it.
Well, I'm saying,
I got to get rid of
Charlie
you.
had me asking some pretty sensitive questions.
No, and don't
about-
blame sensitive. Come on, man. They were regular questions. We heard the tape. Don't do that.
And you did a good job.
You did a good job. All right, Joe, listen, man. Keep your nose clean. Keep your house clean. Change your Twitter handle. # hire Joe.
Do your laundry.
Do your
And
laundry.
get a CPL.
All right, Bob,
Yeah.
take us out. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and fight the power.
Early one morning while making the rounds, I took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. I went right home and I went to bed. I stuck at 1144 beneath my head. Got up next morning and I grabbed that gun. Took a shot of cocaine and away I run. Made a good run, but I run too slow. They overtook me down in Juarez, Mexico. Laid in the hot joints, taking the pill. In walked the sheriff from Jericho Hill. He said, Willie Lee, your name is not Jack Brown. You're the dirty hack that shot your woman down. Said, yes, oh yes, my name is Willie Lee. If you've got a warrant, just to read it to me. Shot her down because she made me slow. I thought I was her daddy, but she had 5 more. When I was arrested, I was dressed in black. They put me on a train and they took me back. Had no friend for to go my bail. They slapped my died carcass in that county jail. Early next morning, about 9:30, I spied a sheriff coming down the line. Up then he coughed as he cleared his throat. He said, come on, you dirty hack, into that district court. Into the courtroom my trial began, where I was handled by 12 honest men. Just before the jury started out, I saw that little judge commence to look about. In about 5 minutes, in walked a man, holding the verdict in his right hand. The verdict read in the first degree. I hollered, Lordy, Lordy, have mercy on me. The judge, he smiled as he picked up his pen. 99 years in the Folsom pen. 99 years underneath that ground. I can't forget today I shut that bad bitch down. Come on, you gotta listen unto me. Lay off that whiskey and let that cocaine be.
These men have receptions, Matlock, A50632, and Bat Shelter, A39879. They have receptions.